Okay, on the show now we have two people. We have on the studio hotline talking to me as a special guest. We have Sam Evans and, of course, Shauna Guinn. Welcome to you both to the show.
Hey,
Hello.
hey Dan.
Yeah,
Hello to all your lovely listeners.
it's great to have you on. So we're talking about all things food and Christmassy, I believe, today.
We are, yeah. We're planning a special small scale festive feast this year.
Oh, that sounds nice. And this interview we're talking in association with Maple of Canada, I believe.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, it's our secret ingredient for spicing up your Christmas.
Ooh.
Maple syrup is a very versatile product, and I think a lot of people think that it's just for something that you can put on pancakes or waffles. But actually, we use maple syrup in lots of dishes, and for Christmas, let's talk turkey.
Great stuff. Right, I'm on to the questions now. Are we seeing a shift away from the traditional turkey and trimmings? And what are the popular meats alternatively to turkey?
Well, we are big fans of cooking outdoors. That is what we specialize in. We specialize in barbecue, so cooking big hunks of meat with wood and charcoal. So this Christmas Day, we are going to be out in our back garden smoking our turkey crown.
Sounds fun. Bit of alfresco dining then.
Well, I think, if you are having people around for a socially distanced gathering in your garden, you can all gather around the barbecue. It'll be nice and hot. And of course, all that lovely smell from the smoked turkey. Oh, it's making me feel hungry, Danny.
Great. Even talking about it, that's great. Because barbecues you often do in the summer, but to do it in the winter, that's a nice change, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like it almost lends itself to winter. We think, I mean, it's fire, it's warm,
Yeah.
but it's a wonderful way to cook. We do it all year round.
Cool.
Barbecue isn't just for Christmas.
And with pubs closing, that aside, are we still seeing an increase in people eating out at the moment, or are more people being more experimental in the kitchen?
Well, I think this year generally, I mean, it's been an awful year for many, many people. But maybe one of the benefits of having to stay at home is that people are cooking more, people are experimenting more. And I genuinely think that there is an appetite for people to create something a little bit different, a little bit special this Christmas.
Cool. And I've got some fascinating figures here. 44% say they want to make their festive meal spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all deserve a treat this year, don't we? And
Yeah.
I think adding a little bit of a luxury touch, spoiling ourselves a little bit, is absolutely what we all deserve.
It's good to be. It's good to treat yourself now and again. Be good to yourself. And which brings me on to the next question. A quarter of cooks, 25%, say they're spicing up their greens by adding chili flakes. And 1 in 10 say they'll use crumbled Christmas cake in their stuffing to twist their Christmas dinner.
Well, you know how we are going to twist things up this year? We are going to wait for it, a sprout slaw.
Wow.
Yeah, raw sprouts, like you would make a coleslaw, and again, using our secret weapon of maple syrup. We're going to make a lovely dressing, because do you know what, Danny? You know what I love about Christmas the most? It's all about the leftovers. I actually just like making the dinner on Christmas Day so that I can have awesome leftover sandwiches. And if you fancy making the ultimate maple-inspired leftover sandwich, you can go to the website maplefromcanada.co.uk and make our awesome festive sandwich.
Lovely. And when I see food being kind of thrown away, it's upsetting. So it's good that leftover food is being put to good use.
Well, I've got to be honest with you, Danny. I actually plan the sandwich, so I buy especially, so it's not really strictly leftovers in our house. I mean, you can do so much with what you have at Christmas, and I just think, if you can do a little bit of forward planning when you're doing your shop this year, plan out all those delicious meals that you're going to have, and that'll really minimize waste as well. And I just think if you can, buy some extra vegetables, you're going to have food all season.
Cool. So food does keep as well, if you store it correctly and what have you.
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, we have. I just want to eat for the whole Christmas period, to be honest with you. It starts on the 24th and rolls right the way through to the new year, and coming together around food it's so comforting at this time of the year. And like I said, given the awful year that many of us have had, but I think also this year, people are not going to be cooking potentially on the scale that they would have done. There aren't going to be those massive family gatherings. So, instead of buying a whole turkey, for example, this Christmas, you might just want to think about buying a crown or half a crown, just a smaller piece of meat, exactly like you say, to make sure that nothing goes to waste.
Fair point. And what are some popular sides this Christmas other than your usual pigs in blanket? And can you still serve a Yorkshire pudding on your Christmas dinner?
I think it's illegal not to in some parts, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, we certainly will be. I think now's the time to actually experiment. We don't have, as Shauna was saying, those huge, Christmas dinners, loads of people come around, the pressure of that perfect traditional dinner. Let's push the boat out a little bit, and you never know, you might make a new family favorite that you'll be trotting out for your families next year. But I think your secret ingredient really is getting a flavor in there that you can make your own, and I think maple syrup is a key one for that. So we're used to having honey pop up in our, when we glaze things, and our honey roast hams, etc. Switch it out this year, switch it out and get some maple syrup. It's got a huge amount of depth. It's got loads of complex flavors, and I think, because it's not overtly sweet like honey is, you can add it into more savory dishes than you think. So now's the time to get all experimental this Christmas.
And just on that note of Yorkshire puddings, have you ever had a Yorkshire pudding as a dessert?
Ooh, I haven't,
Big scoop of ice cream covered in maple syrup. Away you go. Try that.
Oh, I guess Christmas pudding in it.
Yeah, we'll do. So this brings me on to my next question. And another dished up fried Christmas pudding for breakfast. Have you heard about that?
No, I have never heard about that. But you know what? I'm going to give it a go. Sam and I, we always start a campaign to get one of our friends or families to start making us a Christmas pudding around August. And thankfully, Sam's mum has come up with the goods this year. So yeah, let's fry up a bit of our Christmas pudding for breakfast.
Yeah.
It's actually a huge manipulation is what I do, because I don't want to make it myself. I have to casually drop in some hints that I'm not going to end up with a Christmas pudding or a cake. So usually somebody comes through for me at Christmas.
And I've got two questions, one for both of you. So the first one is, what spices will be popular this year? And then the other one is the best way to glaze carrots and vegetables.
Okay, so spices that will be popular this year. We actually have started using pink peppercorns. They're nice as an alternative to pepper. You could chili. I don't know if you like things spicy. But we make like a spicy cranberry and apple sauce to go with our turkey. What do you think about glazing, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing with the glaze is you've got to have balance with it. So a glaze traditionally would use something like honey, but my go-to glaze, and you can use this on your hams, your turkeys, your vegetables. So if you take, say, 1 part maple syrup, 1 part cider vinegar, and you want to get a couple of teaspoons of whatever mustard you have to hand. I love Dijon. If you've got a little jar, you can just put a lid on that. Give it a good shake, and that'll keep in your fridge for days and days and days. And you can brush that over your carrots, your parsnips, your sprouts, your turkey, your ham, whatever you're having. And this is a delicious glaze that'll just keep going. It's got so many festive flavours to it as well.
Some priceless advice there. And just wrapping up the interview now, we did mention about food being wasted, but on the whole, how can you cut Christmas waste in the kitchen this year in general?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's all about the planning, isn't it? And then I think some of us just go completely over the top with how many vegetables that we buy, etc. But I think if you can just maybe plan out your meals, decide what you're going to have Christmas Day, decide what you're going to have Boxing Day and the subsequent days afterwards, and just try and put a little bit more care and thought into actually what you're cooking. And you can get loads of tips, you can get loads of recipes. You can get that from maplefromcanada.co.uk, and that'll help you meal plan over Christmas and minimize leftovers, or actually plan for having leftovers.
But we don't tend to have leftovers in our house. We are greedy girls and we like to eat. And you know what? Celebrate this year, people. Get cooking. Enjoy the time that you have with each other. And happy Christmas to all of your listeners.
Well, Merry Christmas to you both, and that's wonderful. It's really, really refreshing to see someone enjoy their food these days. And I'm joined by Sam Evans and Shauna Guinn. Thank you to the both, talking about Christmas dinner and food, glorious food in general.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy
All the best.
Christmas, everyone.
And yourself. All the best.
Cheers, Dan.